Bonjour. My name is Gabrielle Chanel, but darlings, you can call me Coco. A name I'll explain later. But first, walk with me down the runway of my life. It is France, 1953. The war has ended, and I'm here at the grand reopening of my fashion house. It feels as though I have been aged. It has been ages since I was last here. I just love all the fabrics and the buttons and the colors. For what is the use of a colorful world if you're not to use the colors to our own advantage? In 1895, my mother died of tuberculosis. 1895, 12 years after my birth, my mother died of tuberculosis, leaving my sister and me to my father. Albert Chanel was his name. Over the years, I'd heard stories of how he was a peddler and a thief. Well, I suppose I should thank him, for if he had not sent me there, I would have never learned to sew, and I would not have this beautiful fashion house to call my own. When I turned 18, the orphanage sent me to Paris to make hats. I quickly grew bored of hats, however, and took to performing, to dancing and singing at private clubs, pubs, and cafes. That is where I got the nickname COCO. It is a shortened version of the word coquette, meaning kept woman. It's from a song I would sing. I suppose it reminded me of how far I've come, so I kept it. I'd always loved the orchestra. One day, I heard this intriguing song called The Rite of Spring by Igor Stravinsky. The rest of the audience hated it. It caused a riot, but I loved it. It was magical in my mind. Well, 7 years later, I formally met Igor at a dinner party he and I had attended. His family and he had recently fled Russia and needed a place to live for the time being, so I offered my home. Well, Igor and my relationship grew to be more than what it should have been. But I am romantic. It gives me great joy to see you all here tonight. By this time, I'd become good friends with Pablo Picasso and Salvador Dali. I'd also become acquainted with Winston Churchill. It's good to see you. It gives me great joy to see you all here tonight. I may not be the youngest designer out there, but I am still the best. Don't spend your life beating your head on the wall, hoping to transform into a door. It just won't work. When World War II struck, I shut down my business, fired my employees, and closed my fashion house. I moved into the Hotel Ritz. What I did in there, I won't tell. That is for myself and myself alone. I have and I will change the way the world sees women. I gave women the feminine pantsuit, the trench coat. I gave you all the turtleneck. And I created the little black dress, which people would later come to call Coco's Forward. This is why I'm here. This is what I am meant to do. Welcome back to Chanel. Thank you.
What's your favorite piece of fashion that you've done?
I have to say the little black dress. That's what I've always been most proud of. Bobby.
What did you side with? The Axis powers or the
Allies.
or the Allies?
Stayed in the hotel.
Germans or the Americans?
I believe I sided with the Germans. Yes, I was a Nazi sympathizer. Alexa.
So Chanel is still a really big name today. How did Chanel carry on after you?
Well, so what really brought Chanel to the world's attention was a bombing. There was a bombing in Paris, and one of the places they struck, the main target they struck actually was Chanel's fashion house, her mirrored fashion house. There was an anonymous call that came in that later said, "We struck the heart of the city, the heart of the community, the heart of the people." that was the, at that point, the island of Guadalupe, who was controlled by the French at that point, and wanted to be out.
Thank you, Coco.